Wing TV with Victor Thorne and Lisa Giuliani. The revolution is being televised.
Hello, it's Thursday, May 5th, and you're watching Wing TV. I'm Lisa Giuliani.
And I'm Victor Thorne. Welcome to Wing TV. Well, folks, things are taking a dramatic turn around in the Alex Jones censorship scandal. Now, we've been getting a lot of feedback from people that were very skeptical up until yesterday's show. They were saying Alex Jones would never engage in censorship. He would never do anything like that. Then, after they watched yesterday's show, which is archived on the homepage, and they saw the caller who called into Alex's show, who was censored from the archive, they listened to the tape, they got to hear the transcript, they saw people, or the testimony from people that see that the archive was censored, and they're like, my God, it's actually true. He did do it.
And this has spurred just an influx of emails from people describing similar experiences in the past with Alex, all of them unpleasant.
Right, so we aren't the first people that this has ever happened to. We're just the first ones to bring it out in a big way, and now all these other people are saying that, yeah, this happened on X, Y, and Z in the past, and also there are a lot of people that have actually been guests on this show. We're not going to mention any names, but they're now coming out in support of us and saying that what's happening here is egregious behavior, and they're starting to post messages on boards and so forth, and they're picking this up and saying Alex Jones better start answering some questions because this every day just increasingly makes him look worse. And we're going to tell about a conversation that Lisa had with Ted Anderson a little bit later today, which is very, very interesting. But what I'd first like to do is ask a question. What if CBS News did a report tonight and they had a segment of this broadcast where they interviewed or talked to Alex Jones, okay? And a lot of people saw it. Some people actually recorded it on their VCRs, so forth. Then they said they're going to rebroadcast this later on tonight at, say, 11 o'clock. Well, this show comes on at 11 o'clock and people say, oh, I want to see where Alex is on. Well, they watch the show, but the segment that he was on got censored out. Now, what do you think,
That
Alex...
happened to Charles Key in OKC. That Fox News did that. So that's a good example, too.
No, but no, they just never let him on the show in the first place. What if CBS actually had Alex on the first time, the first broadcast? Then when they rebroadcast it, they cut it out. They censored it. What would Alex Jones do on his show? He would scream, yell, flip out, and bitch about this until the end of the universe. He would never, ever, ever let CBS News forget that they censored out.
Or us either.
Yeah. But guess what? That's exactly what Alex Jones did on Tuesday. He censored out a part of his broadcast. And everybody should be irate about this, that he's acting not only the same as the mainstream media, but worse than them.
Not only that, if you're a paid subscriber to GCN, to Alex Jones' show, you are paying for the full content of the archive of that show every day.
Right.
They say it on their advertisements. You get free access. Well, it's not free because you're paying for it, but you're supposed to get full access to the entire show.
Right.
So if he deletes content, then he's removing part of that show. Are you getting what you paid for?
Right, and if Alex did it that day, how many other times in the past has Alex Jones went into his archives before he posted them and censored out things that he disagreed with? This is total and complete 1984 tactics.
And as one 9/11 researcher just pointed out, he hangs up on people all the time. Why go to the lengths of erasing people?
Yeah, I mean, why even have callers? If you're going to have callers that you're going to hang up on, why even take them in the first place? Now, it seems like Alex he's unraveling. Things are getting beyond his control, and I know he doesn't like that. And when we started this last Friday, we had a parody article where we said Alex was going to change the name of his show to infomercial.com. Then on Monday, we had our little parody interview and then your music video. So we started out poking fun at this. And just within a day of that, Alex loses control, starts censoring things, and it just becomes a big scandal with an ensuing cover-up. So now people say, well, it's easy to come out on Wing TV and talk about this. Why don't you get Alex's side of the story?
We'd love to.
Yeah, we would love to. In fact, last night I called Alex. I have his personal number. I called him up, left a message on his phone and said, Alex, a lot of people have a lot of questions about this. We would like your side of the story. Whenever you want to say something, let me know. We'll report it on Wing TV. Not a word so far. So Lord Alex, as he calls people who don't answer for their actions, Lord Alex is silent still.
It wouldn't have even had to get to this point if Alex would have just answered questions which began with us 2 years ago.
Exactly. Now, before we keep going on, I'd like to thank Visigoth, whose radio show we were on last night. And I made a point while we were on. I said, if I didn't honor my word when I came out here to you, talking before Wing TV, if I lied to you, if I censored these broadcasts, I told Viz, I says, I guarantee every single person watching Wing TV, I would quit this show tomorrow because I wouldn't be able to face the people out there.
Another thing, when somebody lies to you, they're presuming that you're stupid.
Yeah.
And we have never made that presumption about anybody that watches this show. So I'm just, there's nothing for us to gain by coming out here and bullshitting you. We've only come out here to tell you the truth, or why bother? Why bother wasting our time? Because it costs us money to do this show. Yeah.
Another thing that we like about Visigoth, and go to his site at visigoth.com, is that he wasn't afraid to ask us hard questions.
Right.
He was trying to get to the bottom of why we were doing this, and we didn't come out and start crybabying to Visigoth and saying, you're not allowed to ask us hard questions. You know what we did? We answered them. He asked questions, and we answered them, and we don't think that anybody should get a free pass. And it's like Lisa says in one of her groups, or what's it, 9/11 Let's Roll group, it's like, do you think we're going to come out here and lie to you?
Well, when you hold yourself up to public scrutiny, you better be prepared and expect to be asked hard questions.
Right.
And we are, and we do.
Yeah. Now, since I mentioned, what's the exact, the 9/11 Let's Roll forum?
It's Let's Roll 9/11.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Lisa's been in there, and she's been taking a lot of crap from these people.
Not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them.
But a lot of them.
A lot of them. And she, even though I'm not a member of that group or that forum, she tells me what's going on there, so I've been listening. And finally last night I said, a lot of these people are bad-mouthing us and really coming down hard on Lisa. But this is Let's Roll 9/11. They're the people that believe in the pod underneath the airplane. And I said, you know what? And they're sticking up for Alex. They're refusing to ask Alex any hard questions.
They say they're going to, but right off the bat, it was just a sort of attack Lisa for bringing the information.
But I said, you know what it is? That Alex laughs at the pod people. He doesn't take the pod people seriously whatsoever. He doesn't have any pod people on his show. He doesn't promote the pods. Yet all the people in the pod group are bowing down at his altar and worshiping him. Well, okay, I'll just say some of them. They're bowing down and worshiping Alex, and Alex laughs at him. He doesn't want anything to do with them.
The main thing is Alex isn't above questioning, and even, 9/11 researchers have to concede that. There's nobody above questioning, and what's wrong with questioning Alex Jones?
Yeah, and as Lisa also says,
they certainly don't have a problem questioning or criticizing us.
And Lisa also says, why do we have any hero worship whatsoever? I thought we got beyond that when we weren't worshiping President Bush or worshiping Walter Cronkite.
No, now they worship Alex Jones. They have to have a hero to replace the fallen hero from before.
Yeah. Well, here at Wing TV, we don't have any heroes. We don't bow down at anybody's altar, and we want the hard questions to be asked, because if they're not, how are we ever going to find out the truth?
And we encourage you to ask all the questions you want.
Yeah. Now, we've been getting a lot of feedback, as we said. I mean, tons and tons of email, and they're great. I mean, the good and the bad.
Right.
And, people have been recounting now what's happened to them when they called into Alex's show and he's hung up on them or whatever. And one specific instance was Alex hung up on someone and moved on to the next caller. Well, I guess 3 callers in a row said to Alex, we want to know why you hung up on this person.
And what that person had to say.
Yeah, what did that person have to say? Why are you censoring out callers into this show? And finally, Alex had to back down.
And half apologize.
So what we're saying to you is call into Alex's show and demand to know why he's censoring, why he's removing calls from the archives, why he won't mention certain things.
And if you're paying money monthly into that site for that crisper audio quality, then you deserve to have some questions answered.
Exactly. Do you want a partial show? And when you listen to the archives, are you always going to be wondering now, well, I wonder what Alex went in and tampered with this time? Well, maybe somebody said something bad about Bohemian Grove or whatever, and since it didn't look good for his image, he'll just censor that little segment out. No one will ever know it. And
I really don't think he expected to be called on this
No.
censoring thing from Tuesday. I'm sure he didn't expect Steve from Ohio to record the call or for anybody to call him on the deletion from the archive. But that's the way it works, Alex.
yeah. Now, Steve was going to send us the cassette tape of this, and I know that the audio quality wasn't real good when we played that tape yesterday, but as soon as we get that, we're going to burn it onto a disc and then put it right into our computer system so you can hear it, in more clarity.
Like we did.
Yeah, and then, it's like, I know Alex was blindsided because never in 1,000 years would he think that the person he censored would show up on Wing TV with an actual recording of what was censored. I mean, how priceless is that? And,
it is priceless.
Yeah. Now, before we get to your Ted Anderson conversation, I want to mention one other thing. Lisa, again, brought this up, and she said, when people say, well, Alex is just being Alex, you have to let him go. Well, that's like saying, well, Bill Clinton was a sexual predator, a rapist, an adulterer, but the economy was good. What sense does that make? I mean, like, how can this kind of behavior be excused just because Bill Clinton was just Bill Clinton or Alex Jones is just Alex Jones? These people need to be called on their actions because it goes down really to the heart and soul of what the alternative media and the truth movement is all about. What do we want to tolerate this stuff for?
And it also comes down to, should a man have to honor his own words? And if he doesn't intend to honor his own words, then why speak them in the first place?
Exactly.
I mean, don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah. Now, this morning, Lisa called Ted Anderson, who is, I guess, the president of GCN. This is the network that carries Alex's show. And we wanted to find out where GCN stood on this matter. We wanted to find out, first of all, if Ted Anderson was even aware that Alex is censoring his show. So why don't you pick it up?
He didn't give me any impression that he had been aware of it. He didn't give me any impression he knew who we were. So I explained who we were and what we do. And I also explained about how the caller on Tuesday, Steve from Ohio, called into the show and then was subsequently deleted from the archive. He didn't appear to know anything about that, and he sounded a bit sheepish. He says, I know I'm the president, but I don't know about this. He said he's not sure that call was even deleted from the archive, and I said, well, several people have listened to the entire 3 hours now, including us. We have those 3 hours, and the call's not there. The second hour is 40 seconds shorter than the other 2 hours. And
so you gave him 100% verifiable proof.
Sure.
Okay.
I also told him Steve was on our show yesterday with a recording of the call, which he played, and the transcript, and he really couldn't argue that and didn't. I did ask him if it's true that the hosts are responsible for the archive content of the shows, and he said yes. And I said, and so GCN basically just uploads the shows. Is that correct? He said yes. And then he started trying to make excuses for Alex, saying that he takes on many different projects and he doesn't have time for all the callers that line up to be on the shows. And at first, I think he misunderstood and thought that it was our show that got deleted. And I said no, and I explained the situation.
Well, let's go back to the censorship part. Let me ask you a few questions. First of all, did you ask Ted Anderson if they have a policy towards censorship? Do they support censorship, or are they opposed to censorship?
He said the only policy they have regarding censorship at GCN is with profanity. Their hosts are not supposed to use profanity. Okay,
now, when Steve called in yesterday, did he swear or use any profanity or any obscene language?
None.
Okay, so there shouldn't have been any reason for this to be censored, according at least to GCN policy.
Right.
Okay, now, second that, did he say that there was going to be any public statement or any public apology about this in regard to Alex censoring the material?
No. I asked him that if there's going to be some type of public explanation to why calls are being censored on Alex's show, and he said no. And he said he hasn't gone into the archive, and he also said, to be honest with you, I'm probably not going to do that either. Okay, so he's basically sweeping this under the carpet or covering it up. Finally, what did he say about whose business is this? Or who, what did he say about Alex? If Alex doesn't... He said we should speak to Alex. Right. I said we've been trying to speak to Alex for over 2 years, and Alex won't speak to us. And he then said, well, obviously... he doesn't think it's serious. Now, this is regarding Steve's call where Alex said it wasn't a serious issue, 9/11 wasn't a serious issue, and Ted Anderson reiterated, well, obviously, he doesn't think it's serious.
So Steve asked him about 9/11. He wanted to speak about our book, 9/11 on Trial, and Alex hung up on him and said they only address serious issues on his show.
He suggested I go on another show and discuss it with another host, but if Alex won't have anything to do with this, then he's pretty much in Alex's corner.
Yeah. But he said that he doesn't consider this a serious issue also?
Basically.
Right. And finally, what did he say? If Alex doesn't think the censorship is a serious issue, then what?
Then it isn't. I asked him if when people are paying for these subscriptions, they're getting the entire show, they're paying for the entire show. He said, well, people are just paying to get the show. So it's sort of, he deleted a word, entire show. I guess you're not paying to get the whole show. You're paying to get whatever portion of the show Alex wants to give you.
Yeah, so you're paying to get censored material. And it's incredible to me because what we're seeing now is a cover-up developing because Alex is censoring the material, and his boss, the person who should be standing up against censorship, the owner of the station, should be coming down with a hammer saying that censorship by no means will ever be tolerated at his network.
I asked him if we should hold Alex to his words when he went on Jack Blood's show and said we should all come together and unite a few months ago, and he didn't answer that.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, again, I'll reiterate it, is the heart and soul of the truth movement. It seems here now that if Alex is engaging in censorship, if Ted Anderson, the president of GCN, doesn't care about censorship, then we have this amorality that seems to mirror exactly that of the New World Order.
And you have to ask yourself, how important are you,
think about that,
the people who've made Alex Jones and GCN what it is today, how important are you guys to them?
Yeah, they don't even give a damn that they're giving you censored material.
But they sure as hell know how to beg for your money every 2 seconds.
This is amoral behavior. They have no respect for the First Amendment. They're spitting on us right now by censoring this material. And when the New World Order censors something, they don't give a damn about it. But the truth movement overlooking censorship is incredible. It's beyond belief. And you know what this is becoming?
I guess that means Ted doesn't think 9/11 is a serious issue either.
I guess. Now, this is becoming very bizarre. And, a lot of people are starting to notice it, and they're telling us this in their emails. They're saying, how do you explain this bizarre behavior by Alex Jones when he not only censors it, but then he refuses to answer for his actions? And you know what a lot of people are saying, Lisa, and I know you're noticing it too, is that they're asking, has somebody got to Alex?
Yes, a lot of people are asking that.
Has somebody gotten to him? Now, we know that we got these same questions when we ran other exposés about Art Bell. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody knows Art Bell has gotten to. When we ran the exposés on Mike Rupert, a lot of people were saying, well, Rupert's been gotten to. Also, how about Popular Mechanics? This was a good magazine until a few months ago when they kicked out all of the old editors and so forth and brought in these new editors like Ben Chertoff, who's the cousin of Michael Chertoff. Well, obviously somebody got to Popular Mechanics. Also, the same questions being raised about the John Birch Society, who just came out with an anti-9/11 article that debunked, quote-unquote, debunked 9/11. Obviously, somebody has been getting to the John Birch Society, so people are asking, has somebody gotten to Alex Jones? Now, we're not going to confirm it or deny it. We're passing this information along. But a lot of people are starting to question and saying, considering Alex's bizarre behavior, something isn't right. When somebody censors material and refuses to answer for it, that is bizarre.
Let's address this too.
Okay.
Somebody on Let's Roll said, I counted the number of people you guys have exposed to the number 5. Why is that? That seems to be all you do. If we don't point out the false faces in these movements, then we're just going to be infiltrated and saturated with disinformation, false trails, and lies. And it's going to never end.
Right.
Until we point these people out and the crap they do, and there's a lot of false faces in these movements.
Yeah. And John Kaminsky says, when he did a recent interview, he said that the SDS, that was the Students for a Democratic Society back in the 70s, they finally, by the time the group fragmented, they realized that 4 out of every 5 members of the SDS was either CIA, FBI, or some other kind of government agents. 4 out of every 5. Now, you also look at the peace movement of the 60s and so many other areas that the government has infiltrated. That's what COINTELPRO was. The Black Panthers, the feminist movement, so many other ones. Now, do you think...
There's a good saying. The best way to control the opposition is to lead it.
Right. So, now do you think that the freedom movement and the alternative media is somehow
exclusive of
that we haven't been infiltrated? We're not saying that Alex has been gotten to, but we are saying he's acting very, very bizarre, and some questions need to be answered. Now, before we go, tomorrow what we're going to do now, and this will be the conclusion of our Alex Jones week.
Unless something good happens.
Yeah, and we're going to keep touching upon this. Don't think we're going to drop it, because anyone that knows us knows that if we get our teeth into something, we never, ever let go.
I wish we had more people like us in the media.
Exactly.
The government wouldn't have gotten away with all the crap they've gotten away with this far.
Yeah, we're very persistent, and when we focus on something, we never let go. So, Alex, you're under our radar for good now, and we're going to keep an eye on you. And tomorrow we're going to come up with a list of questions. We're going to post them as our lead article, and every day that Alex doesn't answer them, we're going to keep a tally here on Wing TV, and we're going to let you know X amount of days have gone by. These are simple questions, they're vital questions, and they need answering, so we're going to post them tomorrow.
What's he got to lose by answering some questions?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the great Alex Jones.
And finally, like I said on Viz's show last night, I said, you know who I miss? Does everybody remember Bill Cooper, Mr. William Cooper? He's the guy that initiated me by watching his videos into this whole New World Order thing. Bill Cooper wasn't right about everything, but guess what? This guy had balls the size of those on a rhinoceros. And if Bill Cooper hadn't been killed a couple of years ago, he would be screaming bloody murder about censorship in the alternative media. He wouldn't have shut his mouth until the end of time, until the person that did it answered for their actions.
Right.
And we need more people like Bill Cooper out there to demand these answers. And you know what, Lisa? I miss them. I miss that force, this sense of what is right. We have to stick up for what's right. So, Alex, start answering some questions, my friend, because a lot of people, it grows every single day, are wanting to know why you're doing what you're doing.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Exactly. We'll be back tomorrow on Wing TV. We want to thank everybody for the emails, for their feedback. And
call into those shows.
Right, call into them shows.
Talk about it.
And especially for tuning into Wing TV. So we'll see you tomorrow. Keep your eyes open and open your mouth.
Have a good one.